You feel that may have dropped last year?
Um, I would just say honestly, it was a rough season. Everybody has rough seasons, in and out, injuries, things like that. We weren't where we wanted to be at last year going into this season. Midway throughout the season, we weren't where we wanted to be. We had injuries, things like that. But this year we're definitely locked in. We've been punching the clock. We're buying in what coach is telling us, and that blueprint's looking good right now.
And one more thing, I covered Georgia, and Kirby Smart was mentioned several times after Georgia played Kentucky that you guys have been the most physical team they see all year long. Their players, other Georgia players, kind of echo that same thought. When you hear that kind of comments from from other coaches, other teams, what kind of point of pride is that for you?
It's a big point of pride for us, just because that's what Coach Stoops' heart's on us from. So if we leave out a game, yeah, we lost the game. We can go out with an L, but at the same time, like they felt us during that loss. Like it was a hard-fought game for sure. And I feel like Coach Smart says that almost after every time we play them, just because it is. It's always a gruel, nice SEC game every time we play them. And it'll be the same thing this year.
Octavious, you guys traveled to South Carolina late in the season. What do you recall from playing at Williams-Brice Stadium, and what are you looking forward to? Where would you rank that amongst the hostile environments in the league?
Honestly, it's definitely one of my favorite stadiums. It was actually my first college start of my redshirt freshman year, coming out of the COVID year. We was down there in South Carolina. I like it because the fans are actually so close to you. Like sometimes you need that little chirping in your ear, sometimes just to get you going a little bit more. So I feel it's definitely one of the hostile environments. They definitely know us personally, and it's always a good game when you go down there.
Octavious, being on the Kentucky defense, you typically get the most looks of Kentucky offense. So after a year they struggled last year, what do they look like so far this season in the spring, and what can we expect?
I'd say they're definitely clicking right now. They're putting every piece of that puzzle together. They've been holding it down recently, just in the film room, doing a lot of film work, and they've been putting it on the field recently. We've been watching them go out there early mornings, go out there as a team, put it out there on the film with Coach Liam and stuff like that. So they're all buying into it, and we got Coach Liam back. It's the great mastermind we all seen from 2 years ago, so we all know what they can do, and we know the talent we have on the field.
You faced Ray Davis last year. I think he had 129 yards.
Yes.
Well, what was it like playing against him, and then now he's on your team?
I definitely say he was one of the tougher backs to tackle for sure. He's low to the ground. He's one of those type backs, low to the ground, strong, quick. Switch the balls in his hands real good. He's very versatile. His awareness is out of this world. He'll cut the ball back whenever he feels like it. So he's definitely one of the better backs you're facing. So just having him on the team, it makes it that much better. So you don't have to go against him. He's with us now. So
yeah, well, I mean, guys are going back and forth in the portal, within the conference, whatever. But when you heard he was coming to Kentucky, what was your initial reaction?
I was actually excited, and then we actually got to have him down there, host him the next weekend after that, when he got to take his actual visits and stuff like that. And it was just so crazy because he's not really he's not flamboyant, like he's not gonna talk mess to you or anything like that. But he was just telling us like, hey. Cause we're a super competitive team, so he was telling us in camp, spring ball and stuff like that when it was coming up, that he was gonna talk his talk like, but right now you guys lost to me, so y'all still lost to me. So he said we gotta get at them in practice.
What do you see from Devin and going against him in the spring or workouts or whatever?
Honestly, just his football IQ part of it, just being able to put the ball in places that every quarterback can't put it into. I feel like he has a nice whip on the ball. His footwork is out of this world. He's locked in. He has every piece that a quarterback has, but I feel like his accuracy and be able to put the ball in places that everybody can.
Octavious, are there young guys in summer workouts that have impressed you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you guys know names like Dane Key, Barryon Brown. Y'all know all those guys on the offense side. I say, as far as the defense side, Alex Safari, he was young last year. He came in, made huge strides for us, played good at that outside backer place for us, that nickel back right there for us. I say Jordan Lovett was, he was young too coming in. He's from my hometown high school. He played great last year. He's a young guy. He's always been doing good. We got a lot of young guys, man. Anthony Brown on the offensive side of the ball, slot. It reminds me a lot of Barryon Brown. Barryon Brown's been doing good too. I mean, everybody's just really focused right now, and I feel like the young guys are really listening to the older guys, and they're laying the blueprint out for everybody. So.
I'm not sure I've ever asked you this before, but you're on all these best names in college football lists. Is there a story behind your name that you know?
Honestly, not. I just asked my dad the other day why he named me that. We just talk about the emperors a little bit, Roman names, how it being a powerful name and stuff like that. And on the other side of it, my brother right above me, my full blood brother, his name is Octavious. So the only thing different about the name is the AXZ in his, and then it's the same spelled the same after that, and then mine's just OCT. So he's pretty close to me. So if y'all knew him, y'all say his name was crazier all the time too.
You get Tennessee travels to Lexington this season. What are you looking forward to about that game?
Just honestly, just looking forward to the game itself. I mean, we punch the clock every week, try to focus on the team we have at that week. But honestly, that's one of the games that nobody looks around. I mean, it's an SEC game, rivalry game, so everybody thinks about it. It's just whenever you get to that week, you need to be locked in for that week.
What do you think went wrong at Neyland Stadium last year?
Honestly, I feel like it started at the beginning of the week. Like I said before, we were always trying to focus on consistency and punching the clock every week, things like that. And I feel like that we just weren't as focused as we should have been. We should have been way more focused. We should have had way more stuff in line for them, things like that. Just all around. I mean, everybody gets the best. Everybody, it happens to everybody. So we'll see what happens this year.
Everyone knows about the hot start the team got off to last year. You didn't finish the way that you would have wanted. How much of a motivating force has that been to make sure this season doesn't resemble last season?
Like I just said, our big word of the year is consistency and punching that clock. So, like, that's what we want to do in everything we do. So, we started the year hot. We want to stay hot all the way throughout. And it's football. It's SEC. We run into those bumps and bruises and stuff like that. But it's just how you going to overcome. And that's another thing Coach always tells us, how you going to overcome adversity when it hits you in the face. And that's what it is sometimes. Like, and nobody sees it, only us and our family. Like, nobody sees the injuries. Nobody sees what happens at practice, what might happen throughout the week like that. They just see what happens on Saturday when that game is over with. So it's just a big part of us being consistent and giving everybody what they need to see.
Have you been able to put a finger on why the consistency maybe wasn't there? Is it something that's easy to pin down?
It's a lot of factors that go into it. I mean, you have both sides of the ball. You have things that go into it, effort, things like that. It's just little plays. Like, football is a game of mistakes. Like, and somebody told me that when I was real young, is whoever wins the game is whoever makes the least amount of mistakes. So I feel like it's a lot that goes on throughout that game from the first to the fourth quarter.
How much of a difference, and it's something that Coach Stoops mentioned to us reporters upstairs, it was just that, Kentucky has gone now from being, when he took over, the team everyone expected to beat, and now you guys come in with that. Is there anything to that, sometimes you go in a game, now you're the favored team versus, back in the day, Kentucky was not?
I feel like there's nothing to it. Coach always just tells us keep the same mindset. Mm-hmm. Going to the week just like the same mindset. Like, everybody didn't love us a couple years back. A lot of people didn't love us when Stoops definitely first came in to get the job. Like, it was definitely a school like you just said, like, hey, brush them off to the side, brush them off the shoulder type school. And now we're like a school like,
a W on the schedule.
Yeah. And now it's like hey, these are some physical. This is physical. These are some dudes. It's not just a regular team. These are some dudes. And that's why Coach pinpointed so much. He wants us to be physical because he doesn't want nobody to feel like we're pushovers. He never wants to feel like that. And that's something he's been big on. Like, we're physical. We're physical dudes.
You had this question earlier about Kirby Smart saying what he said about Kentucky always being one of those physical teams in play. How close do you think this program is to getting to where Georgia and where Alabama, that's the next step for Kentucky? How close do you think the program is? I
definitely feel like we're on the pinnacle, and just like you said, it's the next step for us, and I feel like that's what we're looking forward to. Yeah. Every year we break it down on Atlanta. That's the bigger picture for us. Yeah, we punch the clock every week and focus on the task at hand, but the bigger picture for us is always getting to that we want that. We want SEC. We want everything.
How do you think you guys take that step? Is there one thing other than consistency that you've mentioned? Is there something that you're like, this? If we can do this, we can do it?
Honestly, that's the big picture right now, because I feel like without that, I mean, you have nothing. Honestly, like, if you can't stay consistent, you're not gonna win. You can't win if you're not consistent. You're not punching the clock because everybody around the country is doing it. Georgia's doing it, Bama's doing it, Tennessee's doing it, Vanderbilt's, every SEC school is doing it. So if you're not punching the clock, same time they're punching the clock or better, you can't compete. And that's another thing we want to do all the time is compete. I'll say I can throw that word in there. Compete. It's a big side on our defense. Just compete. Everything we do, like, no matter whose spot that is, we all go compete.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. No problem.
What do you tell when people say Kentucky football, you had 2 10-win seasons in a 4-year period, that's as good as it's going to get? What do you tell them when they say that? Do you say, hey, we're going to find excuses to win?
Honestly, I feel like people that feel like that's as good as it gets, like, I mean, they're fans of us, but hey, I mean, inside of the family, like inside the real tight family we have as like the Big Blue Nation, as our practice squad, like our real team, stuff like that, we know it's a bigger picture to that, and we know we made way more than that. Like, it's not just about the 10-win season, or it's not all about just going to a bowl game. Like, yeah, we've been to 7 straight. We've been there, done that. We doing that, and we're gonna keep doing that. But we want the bigger picture. We want our name on the billboard. We want to be state top ranked the whole entire season. We want those type of things.
You get accustomed to working hard, and it's a culture. Mark Stoops and his brother Bob are the only two coaches winningest programs, winningest coaches at Kentucky, and one's winningest at Oklahoma. Does that make you feel proud to be part of that?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Coach Stoops is my guy, man. I say his brother too. He's definitely becoming my guy too. They got the same type personality. They're funny. They pop in your room, pop out your room. They try to stay around you as much as they can. I mean, it's definitely a blessing. Like when he first came into the door, that we weren't winning at all, and then he turns around and he just flips the whole entire mentality of the whole entire state, and you can't look past it. Like I mean, a lot of people do, but you can't look past 10 game winning season, 7 straight bowl games. You can't look past those type of things. Like so, the next step for us is just getting to Atlanta, winning those championships.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Give us a storyline with this team that you don't think people are talking about, whether that's something with the team as a whole, is a player or two that's popped that maybe the public doesn't know. Just open-ended question for you to tell us something here.
I'll talk about a couple of stuff. I'll say a lot of our transfers we have right now, a lot of people are just talking about transfers coming in. We got a lot of guys coming in. I feel like we got a lot of good guys coming in, a lot of old faces to football, things like a lot of guys that's going to make an impact for us in the next couple of years. I like to say people aren't talking about our freshmen enough either. They always talk about our recruiting class every year, it feels like, and I feel like this year it really wasn't a big talk for everybody, but I say Anthony Brown, those guys, we got some good tight ends that came in. We got the great quarterback still. Devin came in. I just feel like a lot of those guys are key points a lot of people aren't talking about. So I feel like a lot of guys this year are going to shock a lot of people that they didn't think about preseason.
You got a transfer or two on the offensive line that'll probably step in and help. A guy from Northern Illinois, among others. What do you think about those guys after seeing them in practice?
I think they're definitely going to help us out, like just throwing them anywhere we can in the offense. Like Liam's a mastermind. He's going to figure out the rotation. He's going to figure out how it should go. Coach James knows how to handle the guys too. I mean, everybody's going to be able to figure it out, and everybody's going to know what to do. So we're going to have it under handle by the time we get done with camp in a couple months.
Octavious, what's the biggest difference you've seen with JJ?
I definitely say his work ethic. He's always been a hard worker, and everybody always punches the clock. But I feel like just the way he is punching the clock now. Like, and our strength coach has just been harping on this. He was just telling me the other day, we lift out good. We know how to do everything. It's about how we do everything so aggressively. Like, we need to do more things more aggressively. When we go over the hurdles aggressively. When you lift the weight aggressively. Like, just don't lift the weight. So I feel like that's one thing he's definitely changed about him is how he's going about things.
Oh, yeah. So every year, at the end of the years, the University of Georgia players mention Kentucky as one of the most physical games they play all year. So what does that say about Kentucky's program?
I feel like that's something that we stand on, and it's always in our blueprint. Coach Stoops tells us every year that we're going to be the most physical team. Even for every game, he tells us most physical team, and he lets us know when we're not. If he needs to let us know we're not playing physical, he will let us know halftime, after the game, even Sunday morning, the next day. He'll let us know that if we lost the game, we lost because we weren't a more physical team, and it's something that we just preach about all the time. You play more physical, punch the clock, be consistent. We're going to win games.